It's a post-game wrap-up here live from CFG Bank Arena. Clay Mercer here with the head coach of ECSU men's basketball, John Richardson III. Now, a difficult loss here to Johnson C. Smith, 61-60. Coach, again, the mighty Vikings. I thought the game plan worked exactly how you wanted it to, and we talked about it in the press conference. But defensively, it seemed like you switched up the defense a little bit, was able to play a little bit of zone, and I thought that zone worked really well in the first half because your players were getting out in the passing lanes. It seems like it's exactly the way you wanted it to go, especially in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, Clay, they're very, very good offensively, and they have multiple guys that can make plays, off the bounce, catch and shoot. They run good action. So you have to neutralize a team like Smith the best way that you can, by switching up defenses and try to keep them guessing. And I thought, in the first half, that we really, especially the last, 6 minutes or so, that we really, really, just kind of had them guessing. And, they missed some shots that they normally would make. We challenged those shots, and then we also rebounded the ball better, which gave us an opportunity to really get out and transition, get some easy baskets ourselves. So, but again, coming down the stretch, they have 4 or 5 seniors that have been there and done that. They didn't panic. They made one more play than we did.
Coach, in that first half, Donovan Flamer was everything. And I was a little worried because I was saying, oh, man, we're a little one-dimensional. It seems like he's doing all of the scoring.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, Harris just started to pick his game up. An explosive, 1-2 punch right there. Talk about both of those players and what they were able to contribute today.
Well, it's unfortunate because that's something that, Donovan and Jaquante, both, could really, really feed off one another, with that 1-2 punch, as Shaquille O'Neal would famously say. But you feel for Chiquante because he left it all out. Final college game, made some big shots and big moments. And with Donovan, we were able to really get inside via pick and roll actions and stuff. So they had trouble guarding our ball screen stuff, and really leaving the lane wide open. So Donovan took advantage of that. In the second half, they made the adjustment. And so, that made things a little bit different for Chiquante to be able to go and have space and be able to create and be able to do some things that he does, offensively, he makes shots. And that's what this time of the year is all about. You take the 2 best players and, you try to complement them and put them in situations where they can be successful.
Yeah, definitely. And Coach, when you look at what Johnson C. Smith was not able to do, I don't think they were able to score. You talk about the defense, we held them down a little bit from what they usually would do. And again, I think defensively you did exactly how you wanted it to go. You talked a lot about one more play. Speak on that a little bit. It just takes one more play, and the Vikings had opportunities near the end.
Yeah, and again, Clay, I take responsibility for that too. Maybe I could have, drew up something in the time out a little bit better, to put guys in position. 5 seconds ago, we had a good call. Again, if Braylon probably would have waited just a split second longer, he may have had Terrence, roll into the basket. That was an option. But again, you live and you learn. And for me, I got to be better, in those situations as well to make sure that our guys are well equipped to get on the other side of this game.
Let's go back to the 5 seconds that we had, and obviously the Vikings had another chance with 2.2 seconds. But that 5-second area, having the ball right under your basket. Yeah. What was the first priority when that pass was made? Was it to go to Flamer inside with a lob?
Yeah, that was, and they did a good job of switching on it, which. Yeah. Truthfully, that's what we wanted because we knew we would have a smaller guy.
That's right.
And we just throw it over the top and and just catch it, and just go score. I think they did a good job of riding Donovan out to the spot that he normally would catch it. And so, and again, and Braylon's clock, probably was sped up a little bit, in that moment. And so, with that, we had Jaquante in the corner, and then we also had it where Terrence would just. If they went with the switch, it would basically open up the left side of the lane, which Terrence would get to his left hand, and that was the final option. But again, when you're in the moment and you got that clock in your head, to try to get the ball inbounded, sometimes you miss that. Unfortunately for Braylon and for our team, we didn't see it. But again, maybe I could have drew up something different, I had in the bag that I just didn't pull out. Again, we didn't really execute it the way that we wanted to, but You live and learn.
Yeah, you talk about this team again. It's a young team. You got some players that'll be returning, and some players really did hit some big shots. Trevor Smith came in, knocked down a big three, and then that three-pointer by Harris was just unbelievable. But you go in ready getting into the off season and getting ready for next season. But this one hurts, and I know a lot of the players were really distraught. Just some of the words that you gave to them in the locker room at the end of the season here.
I just told them I love them. I know I know how that feels. This tournament is so great,
It is.
and as a player, I never got a chance to even get to Friday night, and it's so much on the line. And I'm an alum. First and foremost, former student athlete, but I'm an alum who loves Elizabeth City State University, and there's nothing more that I want in my soul than to see my school hoist that trophy one day. And I really believe that, with a little bit more work and a little bit more just the ball bounce a certain way, we will be able to do it. And so I told them, I love them, and life is life. Sometimes in life you fall short. And with the seniors, you take this and you learn from it, you move forward, as young men, and you get to the other side and other facets of your life. For the returning guys, you remember this moment and understanding that you don't want to have this feeling ever again. And that maybe winning one more win sprint, rebound the ball, getting up more reps, more shots, free throw shooting, being able to guard, better in certain situations. So, a lot of those things that we'll carry into the off season, and then we'll be better for next season.
Coach Richardson, thank you so much for the work that you have put in, and we'll see what happens next season too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Again, the final score here from CFG Bank Arena, 61-60. Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls defeat the Vikings. We've got more coming up here on the post-game wrap-up live from CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore.